My name is CJ Gamble, and I'm from California. My background in hockey, I came into playing around the early 90s. That time the Penguins were winning Stanley Cups, and then the Mighty Ducks movie came out and hockey got a lot more popular in the US. For me, I've been working in the hockey equipment industry now for between 12 and 13 years. I studied industrial design at the Art Institute of Pittsburgh. From there, I started my own brand called Verbero Hockey in 2010. Now I worked with many different brands in both roller and ice hockey. I work with Hopa Hockey, which is custom hockey sticks. Work with inline companies like Alkali. I've worked with Mars Blade, worked with Hockeytron, and several others as well. Currently I'm living in Bangkok, Thailand. I've been here for almost 2 years. Before living here, I lived in Hong Kong for around 5 years, but now I've been in Thailand for 2 years and loving it. It has a great hockey scene that most people aren't aware of. There's 3 brand new ice hockey rinks here, 2 in Bangkok, 1 in Chiang Mai, and they have a great league called the Siam Hockey League, which has a lot of really good players, both from overseas and Thai national players and local players. So the hockey is great. They have pickup a few times a week. They have a brand new roller hockey rink. So from a hockey standpoint, all my needs are met, and the people here are great. It's a really friendly country, really good place to be. So the story of Just Do Hockey is, it's kind of a silly one. It started during COVID lockdown. I was in France, and during, I guess it was around 2021, everything was very locked down, restaurants, gyms, hockey rinks, malls. There wasn't much you could do. You could only go out, walking for a few hours a day for exercise. So I remember I was just kind of sitting around, burning time and watching videos of Sergei Fedorov during the first year. He wore the Nike skates, and I remember looking at the video and watching the skates and just thinking how much I always wanted the first pair, which was never produced. It was only produced for Sergei, and the next year they came out with the Air Excel Elite, which was great, and I was one of the first to get a pair, but I always wanted the original skates. So I was thinking, how could I do this? And with my experience working in the hockey equipment industry for a long time, I knew I could work with my factories to build the skate, and the challenge was I wanted to rebuild the skate and keep the original design, keep it as authentic as possible with using today's material. So using lightweight carbon fiber material for the boot, a new type of holder, and making something that was fully functional that would really be an upgrade, but still hold true to the original. So that's where the idea came from. I remember I created the first design layout, and I sent it to one of my friends, Sean Wilson, who owns Coast Hockey Shop in Vancouver, and he loves a lot of the vintage hockey gear, and I knew he loved Nike hockey just like I did, and he was really into it, and he said, he loved the idea, but he definitely pushed me. He said he wanted to get a pair for himself, and his friend Tony Hedrick, who's a tremendous designer who works with him, who also is equally in love with Nike hockey. They both said, we have to have a pair, and so from there I made a few samples and provided them to those guys, and they were all really happy with them and loved the performance and the look. And then Pavel Barber, chose to use them in a few of his videos, and from there, Just Do Hockey was born. That's when it really started to build an audience and brought a lot of people back who enjoyed Nike hockey in the 90s and early 2000s, and kind of brought back fire as far as wanting to bring Nike back into the industry. So when it comes to designing the skates, it's from an inspiration standpoint, it's pretty easy to just look back on the great Nike hockey skates of the past that were made in the 90s and early 2000s. There's a few styles that really stand out and that people wanted. So for me, I try to research as much as I can. If I can get my hands on an original pair, I will. But just getting photos and videos, and then From there, I'll create the layout in Illustrator and kind of build the skate out from there. Working with the factory that I've worked with for a long time, it's very easy from there to take the renderings and create the final product. It just takes, there's a tooling cost involved as far as building the new components of the skate, but then from there it's not so difficult. With some of the other designs we've done, we're reflecting, really the vintage styles of Nike footwear. That's some of the most popular styles, like the Jordan 1. It's very easy to take that and just apply it to a skate design, and then from there, building it into an actual product. I think the biggest challenge with that is that sometimes some components that are easily made with a shoe are not so easily made with a skate. For example, stitching a swoosh onto a carbon fiber outsole is very difficult to do. You can't glue it down because there's a chance that it might not stay on. So there's a lot of different challenges with trying to apply an authentic Nike style graphic to a skate. But those are some of the things that go into designing and then developing the final product. Originally, the first Nike hockey skates were made in Taiwan. Our skates now are made in China. I have a good working relationship with them, and we've been developing a lot of new technology to put into the skates. The boot and the quarter panel is carbon fiber. We've been creating some new flex tendon guard for our boot, as well as a spine system for the tongue that relieves a lot of lace bite, as well as having our own holder. The skates are made right now individually. We're only making small samples for our staff to try out, as well as a few select influencers. For us, trying to bring back an iconic hockey brand like Nike, it's something that we're very passionate about. I know for me personally, as a kid growing up in the 90s and early 80s, I remember growing up and seeing Michael Jordan using Nike as the brand grew from there. Seeing a lot of great players in the NFL using it, Major League Baseball, eventually Tiger Woods in golf, and then Sergei Fedorov, onto Matt Sundin, Mario Lemieux. So many greats that have used Nike over the years. The brand speaks for itself. Surprisingly, with a lot of our followers, we get messages from players that are, 12 all the way up to, early 20s, and they weren't even alive when Nike hockey was around, but they want to see it come back as well, which I think really speaks to the brand itself. Which is why for us it'd be tremendous to be a part of it in any way and have Nike hockey come back. So for me, I'm really driven to see this come back, with Nike hockey, because I've been in the hockey equipment industry now for a long time, and I'm getting older. For me, I've been a part of many brands and created some, from the ground up from my garage, and this is pretty much the highest aspiration I could have. Nike 20 years ago, stepped away from hockey, and from everything I've heard, their intention was we're done with it, we're never coming back, and that was the attitude 20 years ago, and I don't think they've changed too much with that. So for me, I really saw the opportunity with bringing these products to life, and then showing it to the world. And to be honest, I didn't know what to expect. I was hoping that people would look back and maybe say, yeah, Nike should give this another go, that with the current state of hockey, especially in the NHL, with so many good young players coming in, that maybe the game now could use a little flash, that there could be something new added to the product pool. So for me, that's what I'm hoping for, is that Nike sees this, and that they kind of open up to the idea that maybe there are people out there, in our case, in just under a year we've reached almost 40,000 followers, that these people they want to bring Nike hockey back, and for me that's really what drives me the most. The end goal for all of this is to work with Nike in any capacity to bring back Nike hockey. We've been working with, fortunately, a few staff members from Nike Corporate in US as well as Nike Europe, and they're completely on board as far as wanting to see this happen, which is great. There's actually a lot of people at Nike in Oregon that love hockey and play hockey and want to bring it back. And they've been very helpful as far as guiding us in, kind of giving advice on, what maybe we should try to do and how to grow it. For me, I think there's several pathways for this to happen. The big one that, a lot of people are, rightfully say it's impossible is, for Nike to fully jump back into hockey and try to immediately compete with the biggest brands. For me, I don't see that being necessary. I think that right now the goal is just to have these products available and simply start with some of the original ones, the original Fedorov skate, the Nike Air XL Elite, moving down the line. And I think that there's ways to offer them exclusively in the beginning and kind of see how the market is and see how it grows. I have been contacted by retailers, the major retailers in the US that want to carry the product. And I believe that avenue will be there, and I think that's the end goal, is to get to that point. But for now, it's just kind of taking baby steps. Nike works with APS, Athletic Performance Solutions, which is another company that they own. I believe they own, and that company serves niche sports that Nike, for Nike products like volleyball, boxing, wrestling. And I could easily see these products fitting into that company, where it wouldn't require as much from the corporate side to get it going. So for me, that would be, one of the end goals.